Mm-hmm.
So I was so upset, that get me real mad now.
Yeah.
So I started to look for a girlfriend for him. So everybody in my workplace now, I would say, hey, I showed them his picture and I said, this is a nice guy. Are you interested in him?
So welcome. Here we are once again with the Fishers, Damien and Lana Trong Fisher, who have brought us to the edge of our seats. Right.
Yes.
But let me just ask, if you don't mind, because remember where you're at. We are coming back to that very juicy piece of journey there. But Damien, this is a man who is standing in your way.
Right.
Who you are looking a job for, but it's not for him because you don't love man. You're doing it for the woman that you want.
I remember that clear.
Clear as day. You're remembering that.
Yeah,
but he's blocking you.
Yeah, I mean, after meeting him for the first time, and we spoke, and I realized that he's also a cool person. Because he wasn't the type that hype, and so we talked, and I like the fact that even though I don't like it,
yes,
but I have to accept it.
Yeah,
so it was just about accepting that.
Yes.
That's just how it goes, and
yes,
to just hold my calmness.
Yes,
for now.
But I want to probe a little further, Damien, because sometimes men don't take that kind of answer. In fact, by your own testimony, you were pressing to say, keep me on the side. So you had not accepted the answer, right? So I want to ask you, if you will, did you question yourself at any point and saying what qualifies him more than you? Why she is sticking with him and not you? Is it that he was first or was chosen over you? Lana will tell her story on that side, but how did you process this?
In terms of how I thought about it, it would definitely be because he was there before. I don't consider myself too competitive. Where that is concerned, I just know that if I want something,
yes,
I'm going to go for it.
Yes.
So it's either it work out or it don't work out.
Yes.
So that's just how I look on it at the time.
Yes.
So because that's why I keep trying because the good book says, if you knock on the door, eventually it will open. So that's why I continue trying. But it wasn't. I didn't thought of it as like a competition, like already him outdo me in this, so me have to try, and it wasn't about that.
Yes.
Because I'm a very easygoing person where that is concerned. I don't think of competition with anyone.
Yes. This is the realness about this platform.
Yeah.
Because we are not just having this B1 Marriage Ministry podcast to present Natalie these very ideal marriages and relationships, how God spoke after I prayed, and he appeared in the form of an angel and told me who would be my wife. We are dealing with real people here, because how people come together, it varies what generate that. So this one, I'm liking this kind of platform, so people don't become judgmental of anyone.
Yes.
How your relationship started is quite different from how Natalie and Mark and how Marlene and I, but it's a good story.
Yes.
It sounds like I could write a book with
I'm
Indeed.
So,
right, yes.
After about 2 or 3 years, So the gentleman that, right.
The job. Oh, you got the job or how that part?
No, he didn't get the job. Actually, he found out that he had a heart problem. So
Alright.
I was away, and then when I came back, I found out that he had to do an operation. So he went and he did the operation, but he didn't make it at all. So during that, it was like a month before we would have gotten married too. And he, while I was at the hospital waiting for the result, during that time, my mom and I, we weren't, because I realized that as soon as I get like really close in a relationship where she sees that we're gonna get married, or so she's just thinking that she's gonna lose me. So during that time, no, I didn't have anyone to speak to or anything. So on the phone, he would on the phone with me, texting me, is he out yet? Is he okay? And when he passed and I called him and I told him that he's gone, he started to pray for me, and so that he knows that I'll need the strength. So during that time, no, we would talk, but we never see each other. We just keep our communication on Messenger or WhatsApp. They come in by that time. No, WhatsApp would be in, and he would check up on me and ask me how I'm doing, and and during that morning period, it was really rough on me because I really didn't have anybody to talk to be honest. During that time, I thought that my mom would be there for me, and no, she wasn't. And I guess he was the only person that was there for me during the time, but we still stayed away from each other until over a year passed now, and he would say to me, Lana, it's time for you to stop mourning. I know that you missed the gentleman and so forth, but you need to move on with your life,
How does that mean?
Well, because I wouldn't go anywhere. It's just work, home, work, home, work, home. So during work hours, he would talk to me every day. We talked every day at work. And I remember we had an argument and didn't speak for 2 weeks?
Yeah, something like that.
Just because he said to me, the Bible says that mourning period lasts for a season.
Yes.
And since you're taking it, going into so much years now, why is it you don't go and jump down in the grave with the gentleman? So I was so upset, that get me real mad now.
Yeah.
So I started to look for a girlfriend for him. So everybody in my workplace now, I would say, hey, I showed them his picture and I said, this is a nice guy. Are you interested in him?
Yes.
And I remember my coworker at the time that I was working with turned to me and said, says your man that? I said, are you crazy? She said, yes, Strawberry is your man because his lips is red. So so they gave him name at work.
Yes.
As Strawberry. And I said, are you crazy? No, Strawberry seen somebody else. And, no.
Yeah.
And she would say to me, no, Lana, you're in denial. And I said, in denial for what? She said, I have a boyfriend and we don't talk every day. We don't share everything. And obviously, if Strawberry buck him too, him text you and tell you. And you the same. And I remember one afternoon, one morning I was going to work. And when I reached Crossroads, a gentleman pushed me into a light post. And I went into the machine and came out, and then he pushed me into the light post and he dug his hand down into my pocket and he took out my phone. And I was scared because he also had a knife. So when he pushed me in the light post and I saw the knife, I just gave him. So what I did, I went into Mother's, and in there was full. So I came out, there was a wholesale. So I went into the wholesale, bought biscuits, bun and cheese, chocolate, and I went to work. And I sat down at my desk and I started to eat the chocolate. And I took out all the food and I put at my desk. And my coworker was like, Lana, what is wrong with you? So I said, I just get held up. And she said, so I don't believe you. And I said, yes. And she said to me, then you get them knife man hold you up, take away your phone, and you come eat. Me say, what else me fi do? Honestly, I didn't know what. I guess I was just frightened. I don't know. I don't know what else to do. So I just get some chocolate and sit down and eat and ask her, do you want something to eat? And I remember I went around the back and I was around there for a while. And then when I came back, I saw him.
Wow.
Because she told me that you don't call him and tell Strawberry and tell him. So I said, no, why should I do that? So she went, and I guess it was Denise who called him and told him that, I was held up, and he was there. Because when I came back round and I saw him, I was like, how do you know that, that I was held up? And he started laughing because they teased me and said I gave my phone to a bucket man because he put the phone in there. And he said to me, Lana, you need to stop eating the chocolate. By this time now I'm putting on weight because after the death I eat a lot of chocolate, a lot of ice creams, and then we started exercising.
You?
Yes.
Together?
Yes.
But I have to ask Damien, on this set here, how did you feel when you learned of the passing of the man that stood in your way? I hear a lot of support, but I want to hear from you, sir.
Alright, so
Yes.
at the initial stage,
Yeah.
I just heard it I didn't think of that, this man that was in my way.
Right.
I finally have space.
Right.
So I rallied around her and
Okay.
out of just being genuine.
Yes.
And then I realized that, all right, 1 year passed
Yeah.
and she's still in the morning period.
Yeah.
So I said to her, listen,
Yeah.
you need to climb up out of that now.
Right.
Unless you're going to jump down in the grave with him.
Yes.
You have to get up, and because she would tell me of situations where people inviting her out, she don't want to go. I invited her out.
Mm-hmm.
She not gonna wait.
Right.
So after trying a couple of times, that's when I said to her that listen, you either climb out of that
Right.
or you go down in the grave. You
Right.
choose. So I think maybe saying that she I don't know what it did.
Yes.
But we didn't talk to each other for
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks or so.
Yes.
And then I don't remember what Bishop.
Well, she's going to fill us in. She has all the details. The minutes are written in
Exactly.
minute, form.
Yes.
But just to say that we understand, grieving is and is normal, and there's a loss. But there's also abnormal grief when somebody is taking it to a different level and it's affecting them in so many different ways.
Yes.
So, albeit you confronted it and it seemed to have had an impact. Now you're going to continue your story, Lana, as you tell us how the chocolate eating and exercising opened the door. Yes? And certainly Damien will have to speak to us. We are not getting into their business, but he'll have to speak to us. How then did he release himself from that relationship?
That's what I want
to
to
come
know.
over to this opening that was going to be created, but it's open.
Yes, it's open.
Yes, Lana. So the exercise.
I actually started, we talked, and I don't sleep at nights. I didn't sleep at nights.
No.
I couldn't sleep at
Oh,
nights. And he worked night shift most of the time, and I would like, why is it you're working 2 shifts, 4 shifts, sometime back to back straight? You don't have a girlfriend or something? Yes. So Mr. then why you work, so we would speak in the nights as well. So like 2-3 o'clock in the morning, Daddy and I would be watching movies, and I would be talking to him, and then he would see me eating ice cream, and he's like, you're eating ice cream 2 o'clock in the morning. I said, it's comfort food. And then I find myself started putting on a lot of weight. So he started saying, you're putting on too much weight and stuff like that. So I said, okay, I'm going to start exercising. So I started walking from the gate to the veranda. So he would take me like a month to lose 2 pounds. And I would send pics showing him that I'm sweating. See, I'm sweating. And he would say to me, when you weigh, how much pounds do you think you weigh? And then he says, I run in the evening. Would you like to come? So of course, me no want go alone. So I took my nephews, and my brother started coming with us, and my son. So now for the first in years, we're actually going around each other. So we would go 5 o'clock in the morning. He would pick me up 5 o'clock in the mornings when we do exercise in the mornings. And then he would go again in the evening. So we would be seeing each other mornings and evenings. And I remember one evening he was coming. He was leaving work, and he said to me that he's feeling a bit hungry. So I said, boy, I mean, I have nothing here, and me not prepared anything like that. But if you eat sardines, that is something quick. I can prepare some sardine and white rice for you. And he said, okay, he would prefer that instead of going to KFC or Burger King. However, he didn't stop by to it. I put it into a container and I give it to him, and he pick it up.
Yeah,
he just pick it up and
you didn't
drive
want him to
on.
stay?
No, I have a son.
Okay.
Right.
Yes,
so
yes.
I'm not really going to entertain, because I want my son to grow up the right way, and I don't want him to get the wrong impression with stuff. And then he started helping my son with math for his GSAT. No, I asked him because I know he was good in chemistry and math. So I said, how are you with math? Can you give Malik some? So those were the only leeway he would get to come around me. And then what I noticed now though, every time dinner is cooked, Daddy was up and running. Daddy would cook dinner and share out something for him in a container. So I would go around the kitchen or stuff, and he would call me and say, Lana, put out that for Damien. Right. So, because when Daddy has strokes now, so he got a stroke, so he doesn't go in the kitchen. So he was the one in the kitchen, but they would make sure, put a container for him, because they think when he finishes exercise, he would take something. And he would go.
You didn't set that up with Daddy?
No,
okay,
Daddy didn't meet him really as yet. He would just glimpse him. But he knows that the boys, my brother and my nephews and my son would go exercise. So when he cook, Daddy, them Chinese thing, they just share. For my family's like that on a whole. Whenever they cook, they always leave back, because they say visitor stop by and you're hungry, you they can share something. That's an old-time system, as Daddy's 87 and Mommy's 83. So, right, those are some old-time tradition that they would have. And then that's how we started seeing each other on a regular basis. Damien can tell you.
I want to hear from Damien. So,
Yeah, so you know, the exercising and all of that now, you know, that's where I start saying, you know what, maybe this is the time I must try.
Yes.
Because you know, after all these years, you might as well me try now. So
Yes.
alright, I'm never work out this now because you know, in a relationship, but it's like I'm not sure where my headspace is in the relationship because there are times where it's like I have to be begging for attention, and I didn't like that as the man. You know, so I said, you know what, so I start divert all the attention to she. So that's how now, after, you know, going along, so till the person that I was in the relationship with now found out, you know, that, listen, you know, I don't even know if
Yeah, you talk to us.
yeah, she found out and it's like, me just, alright, you know what? Let me just be straight up. I say, alright, this is where
Your interest is.
my interest is, so we may have to split. You know, of course, it was very difficult, you know, because moving from one relationship to the other. But, you know, the satisfying feeling at the time is that, you know, it's something that I always want. So
Right.
it wasn't really a very big, or would have to go counseling or whatever the case may be. You know, it was just an easy transition.
I wouldn't say it was easy because after we started the running, we started a relationship that we were having, but I was not comfortable knowing that, you know, this was like a 3 relationship at the time. So I said to him, hello, this is it. So I actually ended the relationship with him.
Yeah.
And then he came back because you know, and asked me, and I said no, go, and you know, I don't feel comfortable destroying a relationship because I was in one before and someone came into my relationship and I had a child, and it was very painful. It was a hard blow on me, and it took me years to get over it. And I said to him, no, I can't do this again. And then I have a son, and I don't want to live a certain life for my son. So we ended the relationship there.
Right.
And then a month after, he came back and he said that he ended the
He
relationship.
cleared up that.
Right. So he wants it.
But somebody listening might even think, oh, what a brutal thing for you to have, you know, broken up that, Damien. But you are saying that whilst you were engaged in that, you didn't, in your words, you did not even know where your headspace was.
Yes.
Because you had to be almost begging for attention.
Yes.
You were treated secondary.
Yes, and the person at the time wasn't spending as much time as I would like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are some things that I would have wanted, and then now, you know, I'm not getting that. So
the relationship was sort of on rocket grounds or something. Yeah, right.
Yes, because I remember, like, on his birthday, if you're in a relationship and that's your partner's birthday, you're gonna be with them and so forth. So when his birthday and like Valentine's or Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve and stuff like that come around, and I would say, hey, so you're not going? And he's like, no. And I'm saying, because no, I wasn't sure, you know, so there are certain things that I wanted to make sure of, because you know, men will tell you a lie and all kind of stuff. And I would sit beside him and say, call her, you know, just to make sure, because he's not telling a lie. So he would call the individual and say to her, like, you know, am I going to see you for my birthday or so? And her response, you know, would be like, no, you know, I won't be able to see you, or stuff like those.
And let's put in context and be here, because for somebody to say, well, you are there in his space, so you're not helping the issue. But one must not justify, but one must remember that your quote unquote friendship,
Right.
not necessarily relationship,
That's
predates all of this.
Even the
You know,
relationship with
right?
Right.
So it was not strange for you to know each other, talking to each other.
No.
Right.
But you were mindful that you didn't want to be the factor
Right.
in a very, what I may say, active way.
Right.
Okay, and you ensure
So
that.
these were the little things that I would do just to prove that he was not lying to me.
Oh,
Right. So most of the times when he comes around, when I think he should be with that person, I would say to him, call that person and,
Right.
let me hear. Sorry.
Yeah.
And he would do it. He never hesitated, and he would say to me, but Lana, I'm telling you the truth. And I would say, like, call the person, and I would sit beside him while he called.
we'll have to hold it right there,
Yes.
Natalie.
So
To see how persistence results in reward, and to see how strawberry earned the prize that he was longing for. The listeners and viewers will have to listen to the continuation of this very gripping story of the journey of Damien and Lana
yes.
Chung Fisher. Until the next time, hold it right there. Take us out, Natalie. Take us out.
Yes, thank you so much for coming, Lana and Damien.
Yeah, man.
I just want to, thank our sponsor again, Mattox Health and Fitness, our resident producer, George Malcolm Walker, and Damien Diaglar. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel at New Foundation Christian Ministries. Follow us on Facebook at New Foundation Christian Ministries and on Instagram at B1 Marriage Ministry. Thank you so much for watching.
Next time.